Hi, I'm Ellie. I'm the Witch of the Cottage here on YouTube and on Instagram, and today I'm going to talk to you about Ostara. Ostara is the Spring Equinox celebration, so it's halfway between the winter solstice and the summer solstice. It takes place between the 19th and the 23rd of March each year. It depends on the year and the solar and lunar organisations. Ostara is the celebration of daylight lengthening, of new beginnings, of new life. This is the time of year when the lambs are being born, when there are chicks, all that sort of thing. Ostara is also associated with playfulness, with youthfulness, and with the moon. Now, the word Ostara is an old word. It's either Celtic or Irish. I don't think people are really sure, but Ostara basically translates to meaning dawn, as in sunrise. Because of Ostara's association with the sunrise and with dawn, it is also sometimes translated to mean east. So some of the deities that are associated with Ostara are, of course, the North German goddess Ostara. We also have Isis and we have Adonis. Those are the goddesses associated with this holiday. It is primarily goddesses associated with Ostara. It is a spring festival, so it's a new life, new beginnings, new birth sort of celebration. Sometimes it's a fertility celebration as well, so it is very much a goddess's holiday. The colours associated with Ostara are the pastel colours. You've got pink, green, blue, I would say yellow as well. The flowers that you associate with Ostara would be daffodils and crocuses and tulips, so you're thinking all the bright spring colours. If you're interested in bringing any of those sort of flowers into your house, into your altar, that would be perfect. Some of the foods associated with Ostara are eggs and honey and asparagus. So if you just have a look at any seasonal food at this time of year, that's the perfect food to be having. My parents' chickens have just started relaying their eggs. They had a break over winter, but they have just started again now. So that's why eggs are associated with Ostara, is because traditionally birds would stop laying over winter when it was a bit colder. They needed to use the energy to preserve their warmth and their life, and then they'd start relaying the eggs come spring, which is something I've learnt this year. Some of the things that you can do to celebrate Ostara are really simple. You can go out into nature and take a walk to see the new beginnings right before your eyes. You might see the lambs, you might see little birds, you might see daffodils and crocuses, and you might start seeing little buds forming on the trees like apple trees or hawthorn bushes. Another great way you can celebrate Ostara is by doing things like spring cleaning. Everybody knows about spring cleaning, everybody's heard about spring cleaning, and there's a reason it's associated with spring. It's because it's the time for new beginnings, it's the time for new starts. So it's the perfect time for you to clear out your wardrobe, to dust in the corners, but it's also a time for you to spring clean your life. If there are things which are clogging you up, if there are hobbies, if there are things which you've got to do, which in your mind you're thinking about but you've not done them yet, now is the perfect time to just clear away all of that old stagnant energy from your physical life, your mental life, your spiritual life, anything like that. Now is the perfect time to spring clean it away. So after you've spring cleaned, it's also the perfect time for you to do any protection work you've got to do. Always cleanse before you protect. You don't want to be trapping anything in with you. So if you're doing a big spring clean and a big spring cleanse, do some protection, do some blessings work as well. It's a wonderful time for new beginnings. So if you're wanting to do a blessing for a more abundant few months, now is the perfect time to sort of do that working. So because it's the time for new beginnings, it's the time for new life as well, with new plants, with little seedlings and little baby lambs. So now is the perfect time for you to start planting your garden, start planting your seedlings, start potting your seedlings on. We've already got a greenhouse full that we're going to be plotting on into little pots and then on into the garden eventually. But one really lovely spell that you can do is you can write your intentions down on a piece of paper, and then you can fold your paper up and just put it in the soil with your plant. So when you're putting your seeds in or when you're replanting, just put your little paper in there, and as the plant grows, your intention will grow as well. So if you've got an intention for increased confidence, you can put that in with a plant. You can do more magic with it. You can associate the colours of the plant, the properties of the plant. A really good one would be if you want to increase your wealth, make a little sigil, make a little petition, your intention, whatever it will be, put it on the paper, fold it up, and then bury it with a basil, because basil's associated with fortune and with wealth. So that would be a perfect example of how to tie the intention plant magic into the properties of the plant as well. It is also the perfect time for redecorating after you've done your spring clean. If you've got any rooms that need touching up, I know we've got quite a few that I'm hoping to paint this year, so now is the perfect time to start redecorating, start repainting. If anything needs repairing as well, if a shelf's fallen down, something like that, this is the perfect time of year to do all of those repairs that you've been putting off all winter. Now is when you should be doing them. So one association of Ostara is new life. So eggs are often associated with Ostara. Now there's a parallel, of course, with that with the Christian holiday of Easter, where you have Easter eggs, and I will tell you the story about the origins of the Easter bunny and of Easter eggs in a minute. But because eggs are associated with Ostara, it's the perfect time of year for you to get your little egg out and take part in the activities which everybody does. Paint your egg, paint little patterns on. If you research either Ukrainian folk egg art or Germanic folk egg art, that's difficult to say, there are like different patterns, and the different patterns have different meanings. There's like the wolf tooth, which is a bit like those triangles overlapping, that is protection. That's the only one that I really remember, but there are so many different patterns and styles, and they all have different meanings. So you can get a little egg, paint it, and you can work magic into that. You can paint it for protection, for abundance, anything like that. You can use the little patterns. So it's really, really fun to have a little go at that. What I'm going to be trying this year with the eggs, obviously you've got to blow the innards out first, so you have to use a pin or something to stab it and then use a straw to blow out the innards. But then you can dry it and paint it, and what I really want to do is get little flowers, little pansies I think, or violas, and you put the flower on the egg and then you brush it over with PVA glue or with like a homemade cornflower mix. I've not figured out the details yet, but I think it looks beautiful, so that's what I'm going to be trying. With the association of eggs comes along the association of baked goods. So if you're interested in doing a cake, a custard tart, anything like that, now is the time to do it. Another idea of how you can celebrate Ostara, which I think is just a really lovely idea, is to do a tea party. If you've got some friends, you can invite them up and you can make little sandwiches and make little cakes, and you can bake the cakes obviously using the eggs, and just have a little tea party. And if you live somewhere that's a little bit warmer, or you catch a particularly good day, you could have the tea party outside in nature among the emerging crocuses. But that would be a lovely idea to celebrate Ostara, definitely. So this is the part that I have been desperate to get to, and this is the origins of the Easter Bunny. I learnt this story last year and I just think it's so fascinating, so I can't wait to share it with you. So the origins of the Easter Bunny are from the North German goddess whose name is Ostara, who gives us this holiday. And as she was walking outside in the cold, she saw a little bird, and the little bird was injured and the little bird was too cold to survive. So what the goddess did was she picked up the bird and she transformed the bird into a hare, because the hares have fur, so the bird would be warmer as a hare than it would be a bird. and the hare was so grateful to have been transformed and I think presumably healed during the transformation process that the hare laid some colourful eggs as an offering to Ostara for saving him, and that is why we have colourful eggs now, and why a bunny is said to deliver them when bunnies don't lay eggs. That is my quick guide to Ostara. I hope you've really enjoyed it. Now, we do have a few videos in the pipeline that I have been sitting on, I've been editing, but I've not yet posted. So we do have the Promised Garden tour, and we have a day out vlog in the Peak District, and probably soon there'll be a day out in Glasgow, but don't hold me to it. I'm sorry I've not had the garden video up yet. It will be up soon, honestly. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed, and I hope you subscribe if you'd like to see some more.